Here it's about 1 o'clock in Brisbane, Queensland, and joining me today as usual is John Nick. Say g'day to the folks, John.
G'day.
And we've also got a bit of a special guest with us today. I am Thrimpy, a good mate of John and I, who loves to also race and do livery. So he's in the broadcast as well. So we'll get 3 points of view on things. Now, obviously, what we've been doing in the previous walk drives is we've been showing off John's liveries going through his album. But today, what I thought we'd do is we'd start off with a bit of work around livery design, and then we'll see where we go from there. And as you can see on my screen, I've got a BMW M4 up on the screen, and the boys haven't even seen this yet, so I'm going to share a picture with them in a minute. But what I wanted to particularly focus on was the livery style of overlaying. So I know John's done a couple of these, and I think Thrimpy's also done a couple of these, so they can both talk about the technique and the pitfalls and the little tricks to doing it well, and also trying to do it timely. So I'll send the picture to the boys now, and then they will be able to see it, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about it. So I'm just going to go in preview mode. And I'll do the angle there so you can see the different colours and where I'm heading with it. Screenshot it. Hope everybody had a nice New Year's Eve. I think there's a bit of a psychological thing about putting normally do, but because I'm doing the overlay, it actually works out to be better to do it simultaneously on both sides, so you keep track of where you're at.
Okay, you're tape lining.
Yeah, I'm tape lining. So yeah, John, you maybe want to talk a bit about tape lining and your most recent experience. I know you did that beautiful Aston Martin, which if you actually want to do a screenshot of it, if you can, and send it through, we'll whack it up on the screen for everyone to see. But yeah, maybe just tell us a bit about your recent experience doing that Aston Martin where you did some overlay or tape lining.
Yeah, it's a very, very high consumption in terms of decals, and it's a very, very slow, tedious, pain in the ass job to do.
And I absolutely concur with that. I think I've been going on this livery for close to 3 hours already. A lot of that time was actually spent doing a bit of search for numbers, but that took about 35-40 minutes out of it. But the rest of the time has been me here tediously and meticulously putting the edges around things. So yeah, sorry to interrupt, but tell us some more about your recent experience. Oh, there's the image. Let's jump to that then.
Well,
That's exactly where we're at. So yeah, so let's actually do that in real life for this livery that I'm working on. I'm just going to grab a square shape. I think that's what I need. I'll zoom in on the car. Now you can see that I've done a lot of the work already, but I do want to do those two lines there where the number 500 is. So what I'm going to do is bring it down here where I can see it a bit better. That's one of the tricks that we don't talk about, we talked about the difficulty of doing this sort of thing. A lot of the difficulty for me is that because of the layering that you have to apply, sometimes when you're trying to get the shape to be the right shape, you don't have an area where you can actually see the shape that you're trying to resize to fit. And I don't know if you guys are watching the broadcast to see what I'm talking about, because I know you can't see my screen, but that's the challenge for me when I'm doing it the way that the technique that I use. And there you go. So these marks that I'm putting in, or these tape lines or these fills, they'll effectively, the majority of them will disappear around these objects. So and then you'll end up with the finished product. So you can see the decals that I've loaded on there, but they'll disappear. They'll be deleted, and what will be left will be the underlaid colour or core base colour. I mentioned about doing it simultaneously on both sides, and the reason for doing that is because we are using a lot of decals, and so whereas with a normal livery you can get away with just doing one side and then just duplicating it on the second side, when you've got to do so many decals and it's so finicky, it's a lot harder keeping track of which decal belongs to what.
I ended up actually maximizing the depth of the decal, so it actually flowed through to the other side of the car.
Okay, and it worked?
Yeah, that's how I actually stayed underneath the 300 decal limit.
Yeah, see, whenever I try that, I don't know, Trippy, if you've tried that technique where you've gone into your angle and your depth and you've effectively maxed it, and you've actually got the decal to bleed to the other side, I've never been able to do it.
We'll do it now if you want.
You see my Supras that I've done a while ago, the Joker and Harley Quinn. The stripes going up the side of the car, going from the front up to around the spoiler. That was all just one decal. The only time I had to sort of duplicate and all of that sort of stuff was trying to get the half patterns for Harley Quinn. You know, one half would be red and the other half would be white, or however way.
Well, I'm gonna. So is it a decal or is it just a shape that you can do it?
Just a shape. Well, you can do it with anything you want, but it works with the shapes because basically what you're doing is, if you maximize the bleeding effect deliberately, you're actually duplicating it in where you duplicated for the other side of the car. That's effectively what you're doing, because it goes right through the car.
Alright, so I've just put a red rectangle, a vertical rectangle.
Right
now
go
to a handle. So now I'm going to go into the projection area option, and I'm going to fully bleed it, right?
Yeah, so maximize the depth and the angle.
Done that. Positive 10 on both. Hit OK.
Yep. Right, now look on the other side of the car.
Not there. If you can see the broadcast, it's... Oh, hang on, it might be. Hang on, it might be. No, it's not. It's not there.
It will only work if you... So basically, when you click on where you want the decal to be, where it says left, right, roof and whatnot, if you click on left, for example, and then place the decal, then it should work. But if you move the camera around at different angles, it's actually going to continue on at that projection.
Alright, so let me remove it again, and let's do this again. So I'm gonna do an add decal, right? So I'm gonna do an add a layer one above where I am in my list. Alright. And I'm gonna select left. Then I'm gonna select the decal. And I'm just gonna select the vertical rectangle again, and it just lands on my screen. I'm gonna change the colour.
Yep.
to red so we can see it because it's underlaying. Alright, so, and then I go to set projection area, go up to 10, or max, and max, and I haven't moved the camera at all. And if I hit finish editing, and then go around, still not there.
So is it above every decal on your car? Sure there's not a decal on the other side of the car covering it?
No, because I could still see it. I could still see it. I'll move it. I'll move it up and down, and I'll move it. See if I can put it to a spot where I should be able to see it.
Did you align your camera to you know, put your camera on align with camera instead of align with body?
I didn't select any alignment. I just stuck it on the car. I didn't use align with camera or anything. I just said put it on the left hand side of the car.
Right.
So
do you want to do a share play, and I'll do it on my version?
Let's see if it'll let us. Did it let us do that last time? It did, didn't it? Alright, let's try that. Because it's going to be very interesting. Now, I don't know what's going to... It shouldn't affect Thrimpy. Won't let me do it because we're doing gameplay. Doing broadcast. Remember last time the only way we'd do it was when we were in the room. We're actually in a room. So we can't do it. Yeah, it's definitely not working for me. So I don't know if there's a reason for it, if it's my setup or it's a glitch in my game, but I definitely won't do it. What about if I try a decal? Let me try a decal rather than a shape. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right up to the top, add layer, left, I'm going to do the exact same thing again. Move it over so it's visible. Make it red again. Go to projection. Okay, I've done all that. Still nothing.
Welcome to Warp Drive, and everything's a catastrophic failure.
Well, you know, we do these things live, folks, and we're always trying to test and learn. And what we're learning at the moment is that either I'm stupid and not doing something right, or there's something different about my livery editor that doesn't allow me to do what John, Nick and Thrimpy are able to do, which is to bleed a decal from one side to the other. It's interesting to figure out why that is.
It's a bit weird that you can't do that actually, yeah.
Because I just tried it again and it's working for me.
Yeah. Maybe do it and screenshot with the decals showing so that you can see that it's only one decal in your decal list.
That's exactly what I'm doing now.
Yeah, and then you can just flick the two shots either side of the car. But yeah, it definitely doesn't work for me, as people can just see. Definitely doesn't work. So, very weird. Anyway, I will continue. Oh, let's have a look.
Oh, there's been a couple of times I've noticed it hasn't bled right through to the other side, and I think it might be because of the size of the decal. I'm not too sure though. I can't even remember what sort of situations it hasn't worked for me in. But there's definitely been times where it hasn't worked.
Alright, John just sent another image, so let's have a quick look at what he... But yeah, that being able to do what John just showed would save me a lot of time, particularly in this case. So I'm just moving that decal down here to fill in there. Making sure that I'm not intruding on the area for the 500. Okay, that's all good. So obviously I've started doing the word, but I just thought I'd finish the top up as well. Now let me see, what sort of shape do I need there? Oh, I can do it with a triangle right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to align with camera. Now Thrimpy, by the way, has been an enormous help with a really great tip that he came up with, I think 3 days ago or 4 days ago, regarding duplicating decals. You want to tell us a bit about that, Thrimpy?
Yeah, it was. I remember doing a few things in the car which sort of brought me around to it. I put the wrong decal on the side of a car. I think it was with my Supras. It was a wrong picture of Harley Quinn, one that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. And I noticed in the list when you push a triangle on your decal, you can go down and replace the decal. And that sort of hooked me onto thinking about what else can I do this with. So I tried it on the number plate one day, and put whatever letter it was there. So what was I spelling? Toxic or something like that. So it's a five-letter word. Put T on it 5 times, and then went back out to my list, pushed triangle on the other 4, and changed the other 4 to the letters that I want it to be, and they're all the same size, all the same skewer, all the same rotation, and all you need to do is move it across and place them as you need them.
Just align them, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fantastic tip, and I've actually used it profusely ever since he shared it with me. For example, followers on both sides of this vehicle, each letter is obviously its own decal shape. And so what I would have traditionally done is I would have created the F, then I would have created the O, and I would have had to try and size match them. Now you can see I've got 2 red guidelines there to keep the alignment right, but I would have had to manually manipulate each one of those characters to get them to be the exact same height and width. Whereas with this duplication feature, where you duplicate then you replace it, so effectively I duplicated the letter F I think 9 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sorry, 8 times, but then all I had to do was replace that decal with the substituting O for F and L for F and L for F and O for F and so on, and all of a sudden I had the word. Then all I had to do was move the letters out across and space them. All I had to do, I didn't have to change the size. So that probably saved me on a word like followers, I would think, at least 10 to 20 minutes. More likely closer to 20 minutes. The other big advantage with it is when you are doing a rear wing and you want to do the underside of a rear wing, which I use for anybody that watches any of my broadcasts or looks at any of my liveries. They'll notice lately that all of my underside wings or rear wings have my YouTube channel name on it, which is obviously iFlowBoy at YouTube. Excuse me. Now traditionally what I would have had to do is create each decal, align the camera,
On the camera, yes,
yep.
all of that.
Place the decal, then resize the decal underneath the wing, which is very tricky to do because your view is very hard. You've got shadow, yep, exactly. So now all I need to do is create the first letter, then use this duplicate feature, and then use the replace feature, and I can create each of the characters, and then all I've got to do is I've just got to move them across the wing because I already know they're all in the right size for each other. And the other thing you you can do when you do your first letter is because what happens is when you do an underwing decal, it bleeds through to the top of the wing. And so what I used to have to do is individually address the projection area to reduce the bleeding. Now you do it with the first one and you don't have to do it for any of the others. So that probably saves somewhere around 40 to 45 minutes for me doing that underwing. So a huge difference in the amount of time and effort that I need to create my decals. So Thrimpy did a really good thing by discovering that capability out in the livery editor. So thanks, mate. Really helpful.
Yeah, no worries. It was just a stumble upon moment, that one was.
Well, you know what they say, the best inventions came about by accident.
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, so I'm just going to duplicate that triangle. Now I've got to find it. I'm looking for the flash. There it is. And then I'll drag it over. And the trick to this, John made the comment earlier when he talked about complexity and use of decals. So for those of you who are very new to livery design or the livery editor itself, for your main body, in fact for all the different sections, you have a maximum number of decals that you can add. For the body it's 300, and for the other sections it varies. So when you're trying to do this type of livery where you're effectively working around the edges of a decal shape that you've already plonked onto the car, you've got to be very mindful of whether you're going to be able to get it all done and not run out of decals. So if I hit OK on that, you can see over here on the left hand side where it says body, in that table where it says edit area, you can see that I've already used 108 decals out of the possible 300, bearing in mind because I can't use that bleed function that John showed us on that little Fiat. I've effectively got to do a decal on the left hand side, then duplicate it to the right. So for every decal I'm adding, I'm effectively creating 2 decals. So I've got to finish this and get all this body work done with another 192 decals left to do it with. So that's why it's really important that you do take the time to maximize the effort, or if you like the result from each decal, because if you just do it in a hurry, you'll find that you'll use more decals than you would normally need to do if you just take your time and get it done accurately. So I'm going to start filling in the letters now, and then I'll consider. Now you can see I've also left some spaces at the front and the back at the side. That's in case I want to put anything else in on those sections, but I'm thinking that I won't. Any other decals that I put on this car, and I already have an idea of what other decals I'm going to do on this car. In particular, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the names of a lot of the decal creators that I have used along the way as a thank you to them for their work in creating some of the amazing decals that they've created. You know, there's people like EA Boy 777 from Indonesia, El Gringo, who I think is in France, who I've used a stack of decals from. Ruler, a friend of mine named Carl, who I've also used a fair few of his decals. And there's probably, I'm trying to think of her name, another lady, Lucy Brezel is another one, I think is also French or maybe Italian. I've used a lot of her decals, and there's one other person whose name is escaping me right now, but it will definitely come to me, whom I've also done a lot of, I've used a lot of their decals as well. So I want to put their names on this vehicle somewhere to basically just say thank you, because without their work half of my liveries would look pretty ordinary. In fact, probably more than half. So yeah, but I think I'll just put them on the normal white paint section of the car rather than do it in colour shift, mainly because they won't be that big, and with colour shift sometimes smaller decals or letters are harder to see, so I think on the white background will give them the best chance of being clearly visible to anybody that looks at this livery. And I hope lots of people do. Obviously, whenever I make a livery and I share it, I'm always hopeful that lots of people will look at it, and I particularly hope that they will for this one, so that those decal designers hopefully get some kind of recognition or acknowledgement for creating those decals that I've used. I don't know about you, Thrimpy, do you have some particular decal creators that you tend to find you use a lot of their decals?
Not really, no. Well, when I go to select decals and things like that, I don't really look at the names, to be honest. Just grab what's there and what looks right, and yeah, I don't really give it a second thought. But what you're doing, man, it's a real good idea.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't want to. I always try to be really transparent with anybody, everybody, particularly people watching this channel. I have to admit, mate, that for a long time I did the exact same thing. I just go in, look for a decal, go, there it is, that's what I want, grab it, and disappear back into my own little world. And I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and probably El Gringo, as a designer, El Gringo, what's his, I think it's El Gringo _ 787 or 737, something like that. I'll tell you his exact ID name in a minute, but after I downloaded about 8 or 9 of his decals, I kind of went to myself, you know what, this guy does fantastic work, and I jump in, I take all these decals, and I don't really think twice about the fact that I've taken his decal and not said thank you, or acknowledged it in any way. So at that point, I started making sure that every time I actually did download a decal, I liked the decal for that particular decal designer, and in most cases I wrote them a little message that just said thanks, or it said thanks, if you want to see your decal on my livery, do a search. But it really was about thanking them for their effort, because they don't have to share their decals, they can just make it for their own purpose and keep it to themselves.
That's right.
But making the decal and sharing it is a way of everybody else being able to get the benefit from their effort. So that's where it all came from, Thrimpy. So yeah, I was in the exact same boat, that I didn't think twice about it until.
For whoever does look at your liveries there, they can see their name on the back or wherever you're placing it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure you warm some people's hearts up by doing that.
Well, it's kind of like, at least at the very least, what you hope is they can sort of go, good, somebody appreciated what I did. I shared the decal because I like to share them, but at the same time, it's nice for somebody to turn around and say, hey, thanks very much, or appreciate what you did. So yeah. Sorry, John, we were just talking about decal creators, and I just said that on this livery I'm going to be putting the names of probably somewhere between half a dozen and 10 decal creators that through doing all of my liveries I've used quite a few of their decals, and I just want to sort of acknowledge their work, because much of my liveries are effectively wouldn't happen if it wasn't for them. So
that's fair enough. It's a very common thing to do when you're within a league or a community. I suppose it's a bit like a virtual reality card club in a way.
Yeah. So I'm just doing the more finicky parts now, which is obviously filling in the gaps between these letters. While you were gone, John, what we're also talking about was the duplicate feature that Thrimpy shared with us the other day, and how much time and efforts it's saving when we're doing the designs now that we can use that duplicate and replace function. I was saying that it probably saves me, this word here, this followers on the side, it's probably saved me probably closer to 20 minutes, and doing my rear wings probably 45 minutes.
I have to admit, I wish I knew that when I started this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because the amount of times I had to write Alan Moffat Racing or Peter Brock Racing or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what else can we talk about today? We talked about your Aston Martin livery. I know, Thrimpy, you got any liveries you want to share with people that might watch this broadcast? Anything you want to talk about in terms of the creation of the livery?
I haven't really done anything what you're talking about right now. So.
Oh no, anything, any livery. It doesn't have to be about this stuff in particular. But you did, which was that livery that you did where you were using the colour shift stuff? Your Ferrari.
My Ferrari.
Yeah, your 512. That's got colour shift with stuff overlaid, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it still a work in progress, that one? You can't talk about it yet.
Nah, so I think I've finished it. I haven't detailed it too much though. It's not much of a hard out sort of livery. But those three Supras that I've done, they were all colour change or chrome or one of the two, you know. And, yeah, they're all pretty challenging liveries to make.
Do you want to screenshot a couple and send them to me, and then we can talk about them maybe?
Yeah. Just get back in the room here.
That's interesting.
So this one here, this is the new Supra that I've done.
Alright, okay. Oh, it's come up. Sorry. I thought you might need a little bit of time. I was about to jump back in and do my thing. So, oh, what have I done? What have I done here? Get out of there. Hit that. Go up there. That's what I want. Jump into my
Lay out all the steps.
yeah. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do that exactly so people can see it, because I can always remove it. So I'm going to go to add a layer. You said go to the roof.
Yep.
So
roof view,
yep, and then I'm going to select projection method, and I'm going to align with camera.
Yep, along with camera.
All right. So then I'm going to bring it now at the edge of the roof or the edge of the car itself.
Edge of the car, I usually find it's best because you can sort of push your decal in and find where it starts.
So do you aim at the door handle, or?
Yeah, just anywhere there will work, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm there now. Yep.
and then you can stretch your decal out to fit the whole length of your car.
Alright, so I've got to select a decal now, yeah?
Yeah, select your decal.
Now is there any particular shape that works better?
With that one there, I just use the elongated rectangle.
So horizontal or vertical? Yep. Horizontal, so I'll select that one. I'll change the colour, and you've got black, so I might as well make it black as well.
Yep.
Alright, so I've got black.
And if you've got a particularly curvy car, the effect is going to be phenomenal.
And then you stretch it, yeah? Just stretch it out, holding the width, or it doesn't matter?
Width, just make it width. You might want to make it quite narrow to match the lines that I've got on my car. I made them real narrow, like if it was on the roof of the car, I wouldn't even be able to see the line, but because it's been stretched out over the side of the car, they're actually quite thick.
Alright, so I've just rotated my vehicle from roof view to side view, and what people can now see is that what was up here, a perfectly straight line, if you see there from the roof view, has now become wider in some sections and has effectively bled at the back here right down, you know, pretty much as far down as the rear wheel arch goes.
Yeah, what you want to do is make your bleed max. So yeah, make your angle and your depth.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back into projection method, and I'm gonna maximize the bleed. So there's 10 for angle limit, and angle is just the angle of the decal shape on the car, as in terms of where I aimed the camera, I should say, and then the depth is how deep it goes. So now, if I look at it, I now have a very different look. Now, I'm guessing I repeat that to get the multiple look, yeah?
Yes, those lines that I've done.
Excuse me. Now, do I have to adjust when I'm doing the align with camera, I should make a little adjustment to where it is, or not?
No, you always want that alignment to be exactly the same, otherwise you're going to have trouble lining up the lines from top to bottom, and yeah, it makes it a bit difficult if you have a different camera angle on it.
Alright, so
to be as spot on as possible.
Alright, so but I'm just thinking that if I put the camera in the exact same spot, will I not get my new decal being in the exact same spot as the previous one?
Yeah, you can always move it though, right?
Ah, so okay, so you duplicate it and then you'll manually move the decal. Okay, alright, well let's do that then. Same one again. This time I'll make it I'll go black. I'll still go black. For people thinking, why am I destroying my livery? I'm not destroying it. I can remove these and it will bring my livery back to the way it was. This is just purely for the sake of showing you the effect as Sam has created it. So I'll make it a bit longer, and I'll make it a bit thinner this time.
The one you can sort of,
and then
some cars
do the
give
max
you a more
bleed.
grainy look, and
yeah, max them out. Now let's see. So at the moment it appears to be the exact same shape, but now I'll move it. Or will I?
Make it a bit thinner.
No, it doesn't even want to let me move it. Is this my editor tool playing games with me again?
So you got to remember, your controls to control that decal will be based on the camera angle that you
from the roof. Yeah. Which is why I'm just moving it up and down. I've moved myself a bit, but I'm just trying to figure out why I can't see the second one. Sometimes my livery function sort of freezes up on me. I don't know if you guys ever get that, but at the moment it's not even showing me the second decal, so I'm going to remove it. Get rid of that, and I'm going to create a new one.
Just tried it.
Yeah, you just tried it, yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
Align with camera. Going to bring it out to the door handle again like we did before. Then we're going to add the shape. This time I'm going to make it red, make it nice and obvious. And I'll drag it. I'm going to make it thinner, like so. Increase the projection angle. Boom, boom. Okay, and there you can see I've got a very weird but interesting effect. Now if I...
The more you work with it, the more you'll figure things out, how it works. And
so there you go, so just moving it as... Sorry Sam, keep going.
Yeah, no, that's all I have to say.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. As I move it, you can see how it's changing. Once I've created that effect, because it's got the full bleed, as I move it, it's doing different things. From, you know, being very thin but precise, to being quite wide and look at that effect. It's quite cool, isn't it? I don't know if you guys can see this. Are you watching the screen? On a broadcast screen? Probably not. But it's just created a very interesting, like a cow look. I'll screenshot it if I can. Should be able to. And share it with you both. And you can see how it's created the like a Frisian cow, but obviously not white and black, black and red. Maybe, I don't know why. Hang on. I thought I saw something else come up. But Alright. Well, as much as I like what I've done, I'm going to remove that now. Okay, which is pretty simple to do.
And actually, I can show you my Spyro decal that I'm doing at the moment, delivery. With the same sort of method, just the camera angle placed in a different view. So
Okay,
you can
bring it up.
With the body lines and start to imagine how the lines would lay out on on the car with a different split angle. You can actually get some really good shapes. Really good shapes and effects by using this method.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is
just the roof of the
very effective.
ZL1 Camaro. So to get this sort of look any other way, you'd be looking at hundreds, of different
Decals. Yeah. I'm just aligning a piece.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll jump in and have a look at the picture. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to get this finished if I can. Because what I want to do is reveal how it looks, and to do that I need to finish all the gaps. Oops, wrong button. Where is it? Oh, there. Part of the fun of doing the duplication from one side to the other is the fact that you've got to find square because it doesn't duplicate in the exact same spot.
I find that quite often when you're trying to, especially those decals that you get the curve over your wheel
Oh
arch,
yeah.
and then you duplicate it to the other side, it's always off by a few centimetres, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, you're right, yeah. It's a bit frustrating actually. Also just noticed that that line hasn't aligned properly. And now I have to find it. So when you're trying to find, oh, that was pretty easy. When you're trying to find a decal on the side of a car, my tip is to turn your camera on an angle because the crosshair will move relatively clearer at an angle. So I'm just going to move this to the right a bit. That's better. I'm going to duplicate it so I can fill in that there. I'll shrink it. Doesn't need to be very big to fill that hole there. It needs to be wider. Done. which won't be where it should be. Where's it hiding? There. And this is obviously because we read right to left, so the letters align themselves differently. Okay. Fill in those two holes. The two O's, I should say. Probably should have picked another shape to do this, because I think I'm going to have to use two decals using a circle, whereas if I pick the shape that I'm thinking of, I can get away with one, and this is the point about economizing that I talked about before. Let me see if this will work. Because that shape is not a perfect circle, this shape may in fact be a better one to use because of the shape of it. So it's got the squarer top. Shrink it down more than what you need first. Maybe not. It's very close. You can see it's protruding on the O, on the sides. I could get away with it, but it will make the O a different shape. So for now, I'm going to abandon that, and I'm going to make use of the circles. It just means I have to have two of them, effectively. Three. You're right, mate. You got that wind thing happening again, John, on your mic?
Is that better?
Yeah, way better. Yeah, folks, John's not a heavy breather generally. It's just he's got a new headset, which he's still learning to use. We talked earlier about the finicky aspects of doing this. Hopefully people watching can get a feel for that right now. With what I'm doing, where I'm trying to fill in the hole in the middle of an O, which is not a perfectly symmetrical round shaped O, it's a oblique sort of shape. Interesting to see how that comes out. Excuse me. trying to work a little bit quicker because I want to get this finished, and I don't want people sitting here watching a boring broadcast while I do this. Perhaps what I should have done is done this first.
I found your live stream.
Ah, good work. I'm just saying that this is a bit finicky what I'm doing right now, because the O itself is not a perfectly symmetrical O with the font that I'm using.
Right.
Just going to make these little tiny movements to get the shape exactly where you want it to be. Alright, that was a lot more than I thought I'd need. And I have to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, put that there and do the straight lines first. Which are they above it?
What an effect it's going to be once you're finished, though, eh?
Yeah, it should look good. That's what I'm hoping. With most things when you do your liveries, you know, Sam, it's you hope it turns out to look good.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't, and you have to start again.
I've been through a few of those where you're sitting there working away and it sort of looks like it's coming together, and then you pop out and have a, you know, stood back look at your car and oh, it looks rubbish.
Yeah.
You go through delete and start all over.
Yeah, absolutely. I think John and I can both tell lots of stories about that happening.
Yeah.
More than you can imagine.
Well, that Michelin one I did the other day, I was probably 40% through that livery when I binned it and started again. Still got the other one saved because I might actually end up going back and doing that. But at the time I just didn't feel it was going the way I wanted it to, so... Okay. Now...
doubt about you, Gingy. God made you out of spare parts.
Folks, John's referring to his cat. Lovable little fella we call Ginger. Well, John called him Ginger, we just follow his lead.
Gingy.
Gingy, sorry, apologies.
Get your claws out of the catcher.
Remember, we don't encourage animal cruelty, John. No.
Believe me, he's loved. He's looked after.
No, strangling the cat.
Oh yes, for sure he is.
Much to his disagreements, I can assure you he's loved and looked after.
I think you should do your own, Gingy should do his own YouTube channel, especially after the photo you sent me yesterday.
I just sent another one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Is that what my phone was dinging?
You're a sad sack of shit, aren't you, cat?
Alright, I have got to the point on my livery now where I'm struggling to figure out what to do next.
Ah, yes, that's a common problem. Maybe we can talk a bit about that. When you hit that point of thinking, what else do I need to do? What should I do? What can I do? So which livery are you working on?
I'm doing the Spyro.
Oh, the Spyro, of course, sorry, my bad.
Spyro Z01 Camaro.
Spyro, for those of you who don't know, of which I was one of those people, because I didn't know what Spyro was, is a popular game on PlayStation. It's been around since PlayStation 1. And even though I'm a PS1 boy, I didn't know about that game. Alright, those are done. Now I've got to get these other tricky shapes sorted. Thankfully there are lots of shapes in the game that help you complete your liveries. So I'm just going to put this in the R. Top of the R, that hole there, gap. So what are the things we can do when we get to that point where we're trying to figure out what to do with the livery? We've reached that point. What do you generally do, John? Sorry, Thrimpy. What do you generally do? Do you sort of leave it alone and go away and do something else? Do you just look at it? What do you What do you do?
There's times where I'll, well, first off, yeah, I'll go out and I'll go into the preview option, and I'll just sit there and look at it, think about it, and oftentimes I'll find myself not knowing the solution, so I'll just leave that livery for the while and then come back to it, you know, once you might be going out and mowing the lawns or whatever, and you might have an idea pop into your head about it, you know, and then you can come back and start on it again. I think it's probably best once you've hit that wall on your livery to just leave it alone, because it's when you start doing things that would, I don't know if they'd ruin your livery, but things that just wouldn't look as good as what they would if you had just left it alone and come back once you had a proper good idea for it, you know.
John, any other thoughts?
I probably would just normally crack the shits and just jump on a Nintendo or something out of spite.
Yeah.
So defect from the game.
Yeah, no, I normally just sort of save it, bank it, come back to it later on.
Yeah.
So come back with a clear head.
You wouldn't just try something and go, oh, okay, may have stumbled onto something. You think the best is to just leave it alone for a bit?
You can, but that's not really my style. I'm sure that works for other people, but never worked for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I tend to be a bit stubborn when it comes to that sort of stuff. Although I don't often get to a point where I go, oh, I don't know what to do next. I find that I quite often get to a point where I go, oh, I don't like where this is heading, and I'll stop and I'll start again, or I'll start changing it, deleting, whatever. It's not too often that I actually stop in the middle of doing a livery. I'll stop because I'm tired, or I'll stop because I've got to do something else, like go into a league race, or you guys say we're going to open a room and do something. But it's not often that I actually stop because I'm not quite sure what I need to do next. So I guess I'm maybe a bit fortunate that I haven't had that problem happen yet. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but yeah. I don't know, I think because for me, I wouldn't say that I necessarily always know what I'm going to do. In fact, it's probably the reverse. When I start a livery, I very rarely know what I'm really going to do. I might have a theme, might have a decal or two that I want to use, but I don't. It's kind of
have a set picture.
It's kind of off the cuff, and I'm going with the flow. So, this one here, I knew I wanted to do this because of what it is, but the guts of what I wanted to do is pretty basic, so that didn't require a lot of thought. And then afterwards, all I've got to do is really put on those decal designer names and what have you. I might put some other decals on it because it's a safety car, but I didn't have an absolute ironclad plan of everything that I was going to do.
I'll tell you another thing to do when you're sort of at that wall. What I quite often do is just send a picture to you guys and ask, what does this need?
Yeah.
Just
in other
like
words,
I've
what you're
done
doing
now.
now.
Yeah, what he just did then. Hey boys, help me out here. What do you think? And look, there's nothing wrong with that. It's what's the saying? 2 brains are better than one, or 3 brains are better than one.
2 opinions better than one. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure I just duplicated this on reverse and I can't see it. Okay. There it is there, hiding in the white. Classic example, folks, of why it's tricky. And we got it, we can get down to business. Well, I better have a look at it, seeing as you've sent it for us to have a look at. Alright, while you're doing that, I'm going back to finishing this up.
There's a beluga sturgeon in Russia.
Sturgeon, that's the one. Sturgeon.
Yeah, it looks a bit like a catfish.
And you see those the real chunky scales going down its back and along the side.
It almost looks like a crocodile skin.
Yeah. I sort of might try and do something like that down the side of the car.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sorry, I'm just Google imaging them now. I tell you what, they are massive.
Massive, mate. Huge, eh? Scary big fish, man.
Yeah.
I was watching River Monsters. You know, you've seen that program before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
And
They almost look like a crocodile underwater.
Yeah. When he pulled it out the water, I was like, holy, you must have some guts to even put your toe in, you know? Jesus, you wouldn't want to go anywhere near that thing. Funny thing about them is I'm pretty sure they're mainly bottom feeders.
Oh, they're well fed.
Shit, yeah. But there has been quite a few cases of accidents where boaters have been, you know, hooning down the river and they sort of jump up. They get frightened by the boat or something. They'll jump up and just fly into people on the boat.
Wow. That happened to hear recently. A guy fishing for marlin got impaled by one, didn't he?
I'm not sure about that one, although having said that, I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Yeah, it was on the news.
No, I've seen a few close calls of that.
No, it actually did happen. It was on the news. South Australia, was it? You can probably Google it. It wasn't that long ago.
That sturgeon, man, for a freshwater fish, eh?
Yeah, I've never heard of this
Unreal.
freshwater fish being that big.
Thing's enormous.
It'd be at least 6 foot.
As you can see, folks, we talked about this being finicky, and hopefully you're starting to appreciate how finicky it is.
It's a pain in the ass is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's the more layman's term for it, for sure.
Got my cat Batman just come to visit me.
Oh, really? What kind of cat is it?
It's your average domestic house cat, but I'll tell you what, he's a lot bigger than most.
Is he? No, you should talk to Stuart about his cats. What's he got again, John?
No, he's got a pair of Maine Coons.
Mancoon, that's right.
That's the ones. Yeah.
I mean, I don't
They're
know.
Tell you what,
I don't know
they're
cats
basically
very well, but they're
domesticated.
huge.
See if I can send you a picture of him, John.
Sure, that's the right decal, so I'm going to try another one.
I just hummed. Big boy is an angry looking fella, that's for sure.
Sort of reminds me of Scarface off Lion King.
He does look like even better, I must admit.
Been in a few tangles, has he?
He's angry looking.
Yeah, he's got those old killy eyes on him.
Meanwhile, this one's mine.
Yeah. Oh, he's cuddled up on the couch, is he?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting a bit off task with our cats here.
That's okay, we don't limit our topics. And plus I'm not saying much because I'm busy trying to concentrate on filling these spaces. It's funny how it's the curves that takes up all the effort. Well, the straight lines are easy. And decal count, I'm at 160. Okay, it's not too bad.
Mate, this tape one bullshit is absolute pain.
That sure is.
All
But
for a bloody number.
once it's finished, they do look good.
Oh, I've got to be wary as to how many decals I use up because I'm just about done.
Yeah, I've got a fair few to go yet. The joys. So we talk about livery. We've created effectively a livery index, Sam. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, where we give the car itself a score between 1 and 10 in terms of how easy it is to do a livery on it, because of the surfaces, etc. and then we talk about the techniques that he used and give the livery design itself a score. And the idea is that for people watching the show, people that are going to do some livery designs, just starting, or they've done a few, and they're trying to work out where they're at, or whether they should try some of the things that we've covered in the show. We give them a score basically, so they can sort of say, oh yeah. And we kind of then had a scale where 1 to 4, I think we said, was beginner, 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 was intermediate, and then 9 and 10 was difficult. I think that was the scale we came up with. Obviously doing what we're doing now is pretty tricky.
Yeah, these techniques that we're talking about, yeah.
So if you're a beginner, we don't suggest you start. By all means, if you want to have a crack, go for it. But
yeah, give it a crack. This is the only way you learn how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we wouldn't probably recommend you start doing this stuff. But again, each to his own. I think the other thing too is that in terms of the complexity, what it also does involve is it does involve the amount of time. So if you're a sort of person that doesn't have a lot of time to spare on doing liveries, choosing to do something like this is perhaps not wise, because you can quite clearly see that this is not something that's done quickly. And this is livery 600 and something for me, and John and Thrimpy are either similar or not far behind. And with all the experience of playing with the tool and putting decals on a car, you can see that it's still taking a fair amount of time and effort and concentration to navigate around what I'm trying to do here with this livery. I'm actually trying to be a bit faster, just so that the broadcast doesn't go for so long, because I do want to show the end result here as I'm talking. But I'm also, as John mentioned a minute ago, I'm also mindful of exactly how many decals I'm using up as I go. Probably doing at the moment the trickiest letter. Oh, John sent something through and I haven't looked at it. I'll have a look in a second as soon as I move this object into place.
Those coffee beans out the back?
Ah, is it that car, is it? The Lancia?
Yeah, I've come back to it. This is one of them that I was having a lot of problems with, and I've come back to.
It's quite an interesting design, that.
It's a bit left field for me, yeah.
Was that just a design you picked up off the Discovery part, was it?
No, it's just something I think I
Very tricky.
Blind the number as well, so I've kept the gold in the number.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Hang on. Let me go back and have a look at that. Pictures being posted up between us. I'm in the middle of doing a livery, John's doing a livery, Sam's doing a livery, but we're just sharing some, I guess, experiences.
I finished my U2 livery, celebrating their best song ever, One.
One? Two hearts beat as one, eh?
No, just one, mate. We can't have two hearts.
Now, but isn't there a line in the U2 song where it says two hearts beat as one? Yeah.
I think so, but it's... I was listening to music last night. Well, Nikki was at her mum's. She's coming home later today, but I just was listening to music, U2, and I thought, hang on, I haven't seen a U2 car or paint job on a car in this game. And maybe because I don't get out enough, so I started doing it last night, and I woke up this morning, I thought, I better go and finish that. And it's taken me, it's a very simple design, but it's taken me about 4 hours just to because I'd do something and then I would change it, and I'd sit back and look at it and go, oh no, that doesn't work. And I'm still not 100% happy with it. I'm probably about 8% happy with what I've done. But I've kept it simple. I've kept it black, green, because U2 want to be green in their world, and then I just had some Aston Martin stuff to put on the car, on the DB9, because it's an easy car to paint, and it's a beautiful car. And I was racing it this afternoon, and it reminds me how good the damn car is in Group 3. So yes, I saw your stuff coming through, and I was getting bombarded with with decals, or not paint jobs, etc. And some of the stuff I've seen from you guys today is the best I've seen ever. And I'm saying not just from you guys ever in the world of paint jobs. And John's been outstanding today. Sam's been super outstanding with his Joker, and Sean, your stuff is just it's always just amazing. It really is. And I'm the I think I'm the cousin that no one talks to, because my liveries are nowhere near as good as your guys.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ on that. I think John does too. I think he thinks you do great work.
Yeah, mate. A lot of your cars look very nice.
So I'm just trying to get my tape line design finished. I'm getting closer, folks.
Almost there, right?
Yeah, I've still got a bit to go, but I'm getting closer. It's where is this? There it is. There. It's the closer you get to the finish, the more finicky it is. And yeah, I'm just trying to get it done.
You guys are racing, are you?
No, we're doing liveries. But hopefully, if we get this finished shortly, we can partake in some racing.
Some racing activities.
Yeah, before my wife gets home and demands that I start doing stuff, cooking dinner and all that sort of shit.
Now, Stuart, I've got to remind you we are broadcasting on YouTube.
I know that. But John, by the way, yes, you can have 6 in the Feed 500. And the early ones, because I owned one. I had a white Feed 500, which I bought in 1978, I think it was, but we brought it down from Sydney to Melbourne, and it was owned by a Qantas air hostess, and they only had 22,000 kilometres on the clock, and it was in metric, not miles. And I drove this thing, uni, etc. No synchromesh on the gearbox. Unbelievable.
Sounds like my sister's Mini.
Yeah, and it had Michelin tyres on it, which is fantastic. You can chuck the car around. But yes, you can have 6 in a Feed 500.
I must try that next time I own one.
Go and buy one now just to prove the theory, John.
That's marvellous.
And you don't have to take the seats out because the seats just slide out. They're quite easy. But you do not have to do that. Yes, and you can have 6 in the car.
I'm just thinking about how sore your head would be.
Oh, no, the roof fabric.
Oh, yeah,
Just open it up.
No,
Oh, okay, yes, of course. That's right, the fabric roof. How silly of me to...
I remember going down the Eastern Freeway before it became the Eastern Freeway, and because it stopped at Taronga Road in Bourne. I was looking in Melbourne.
So we're talking about Melbourne for those of you that are outside of Australia or outside of Melbourne.
And I was with my mum, and we had this big bullhorn, which was given to us by a friend of ours it was actually from Austria, and the car would not go any quicker than 100 kilometres an hour because I was slipstreaming this guy in a Mercedes, and we had the roof open, and he wouldn't get out of the way. So Mum put the bullhorn out, and she blew the bullhorn, and the guy moved over, and I pull up next to the Mercedes, and I couldn't get past him because it was as quick as it would go. Because once I lost the slipstream, I pulled back. It was hilarious, and Mum and I still talk about that. It's just such a funny thing. But yeah, slipstreaming a Mercedes. It was an S-Class, and I chased this guy down, and he wouldn't go any quicker than 100 k's. And once he pulled over, it went back to about 90 k's. Oh, those are the days you get over with all sorts of stuff, I tell you.
Yeah.
But, you know, those days are gone. Because I grew up in a different era, you know, so. Yeah, I'm going to turn 62 this year. Jeez.
Wow.
It's scary shit.
You know, they say you're only as old as the woman you feel.
Oh, that's right. And I'm always trying to find a 20-year-old.
I remind you, Stu, we are broadcasting.
I know that. Come on. This is just blokes talk. This is blokes talk, mate. Come on. No, I'm not concerned about it. I'm just concerned Nikki happens upon the video. That's all. No, because Nikki and I, we the shit we talk between each other at Woolworths, etc. People think that we probably hate each other, but it's just a different thing, you know. People don't understand our sense of humour, and my sense of humour is, and our sense of humour is, we just hang shit on each other.
Come on,
it's funny.
Best way to be.
Yeah, and look, you know, I've met John and Nick, and you're the same. John, you're the same as us in terms of the way you feed off each other, and it's just funny. You feed off each other. Yeah. Anyway. So what's this? What's the focus we're talking about right now, rather than me talking about bullshit?
We're talking about livery design, basically.
Okay.
As we're working through livery design.
Okay, so give us a bit of a background on what gives you the ideas and the incentive to do a particular paint job.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. The vast majority of my liveries have been replicas of old touring car race cars from Australia. The vast majority of them, anyway.
There's one you've missed though, John. You missed Beachy's first 327 Monaro, the blue car.
I'll get there one day. I've done all the. I've done a lot of privateers and a lot of
less known.
Yeah. Forgotten
Battlers.
Well, I think the best livery that I've seen that John's done was my dad's 69 Monaro, Bathurst Monaro. And when John did that, because John and Nick came up to the house, and was it a couple of years ago, John? Was it 18 months ago? And looked at my car collection, which I'd had a model, a 1/8 scale model redone for Dad's race car, and John took the photographs of it, and he built the livery on the Nova, and actually brought tears to my eyes because it was picture perfect.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And that was a very amazing moment for me. But look, I hear you, John. I mean, I live in the world of Jim McEwen and Fatty Gagan and all those guys, and Beachy and all that stuff. But I think my focus now is changing. And Sean, I mean, what's your feeling on where you get your focus from? Because I look at your stuff, and man, I'll tell you what, you just go to the extreme. It's fucking brilliant.
I think for me, I just like the challenge of trying to do something different and to see things from a different perspective. So, John does excellent work at duplicating replicas, and a lot of John's work, if I can put it a certain way, is actually done before he even gets into the livery editor, because what he has to do is he has to go and find images of those cars, which again, because they're not the world's most popular or most successful guys, there's probably not a lot of content or material for John to get what he needs to get.
Less media coverage on them.
Yeah. So John does effectively a huge amount of work before he even gets into livery editor to start to do it. For me, I want to make this clear, I'm not anti-replica at all. But I kind of take the perspective that livery's been done, and that car design has been done. Can I take what might be essentially the content, the decals, the branding, whatever it is, or the colour schemes, and can I make it new? Can I make it different? Or can I just imagine totally different things and not look at cars that have been done already and try to replicate them? So for me, 99.9% of my liveries are totally made up from what's in my brain. And I guess for me, I look at a car, and I've said this before, what I'm always looking at is I'm always looking at the shape of the car, the lines of the car, the contours of the car and the surfaces, and thinking, what can I do on this car that makes it look better? And so a lot of the lines and things that I do are with that in mind. Now, whether I achieve it or not, I don't know, but that's the way I'm approaching it.
Yeah. It's a similar sort of thing that I look at. I'll go and I won't necessarily have an idea for the livery I want to make, but I'll go and I'll select a car. I think, yeah, that looks nice, and then once I get in there, I'll have a look at the car and then start to decide what I want to do on the car. So, essentially the car's making up my mind as I'm looking at it.
It's leading you. It's leading you to a design outcome.
Well, so how many times do you get into a livery and you get halfway through and you go, hey, that ain't going to work?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
heaps.
single time.
Heaps. Heaps. That Michelin car, well, okay, well, while we're doing it, let me save, as much as I didn't want to stop what I'm doing here, let me save this.
John just sent me some images of the R32s, and John, I'll tell you what, that's outrageous. It's fantastic. I love it.
I'll save this,
Winfield,
and then I'll bring up...
Winfield 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's
nice.
cool.
That's real
That's cool. That's cool, mate.
Well, they never made a Winfield Blue or Winfield Gold car. It was only ever red.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. But we always used to smoke Winnie Blue or Winnie Red. That's
That's
it.
the thing. So why do they even do a Winfield Blue car, especially when they were so close to the Shell Sierra of the day?
Because in those days, Winfield was only in red, wasn't Winnie Red. They did the Winnie Blue come out later, after GTR started racing, finished racing, I should say.
Well, still, they use the Winfield. They still use the Winfield livery up until '95.
They did on Scope's car, yeah, on his Commodore. Was on the Commodore? He was on the Commodore.
Yeah, it was on the VP and the VR.
Yeah,
Until the tobacco sponsorship was banned.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Speedo lost his Peter Jackson, which they threw the money. Peter Jackson threw the money to Alan Jones, and they called it something different. Yeah, that's it, Pack Leader. And Speedo got absolutely screwed over.
So
he should have won Bathurst. He should have won Bathurst, by the way. That guy. He should have.
So the blue Michelin car was effectively, initially, this car, where I did a 3D effect.
No idea what I was going to do, and I came up with this. And you know,
generally do.
And then you get to the extreme of doing stupid things like I do, and I'm about to send you a photograph or a picture of something I've done, and you've seen this before, but it's just a ridiculous thing that I did, and hang on, where are we? Okay. Yeah, and it was just something that I was doing really, really stupid things, and I tried this, and it actually worked, and I don't know why.
I love the blue on that Peugeot.
It's nice, isn't it?
Sick and tired of cars after 92. Mind you, I did go and buy Larry Perkins' last to first Commodore from 94 or 95, I think it was.
97, wasn't it?
No, 94 or 95, I think it was.
95 was when he was last the first.
Yeah, 95. And because I wanted to buy his other two cars as well and put them in my collection, the Castrol cars. But that's it. I'm not going to buy. I don't buy V8 supercars anymore. And my collection's getting out of hand. I've got 120 Formula 1 cars sitting on the floor, which I can't put anywhere. I think Nicky's lost the.
Well, that's
the
where I
plot with me.
disagree. You can put them in my house.
I can. If you're nice to me, you might get in my will.
Oh, you beauty! Stuart, have I told you lately how much I love you? That sounds like a good line out of a song.
Oh, that's funny. Nah. But Sean, if you lived in Melbourne, I'd have you over here in an instant to come and have a look at what I've got. And because John's seen part of it, he's only seen about 50% of what I've got. And the pictures on the, well, I've taken all the pictures off the wall because I'm repainting tomorrow. But yeah. So I don't think you have a concept of how much model cars I have celebrating all types of racing in the world, and it goes back to John. You know, John, you and I go back to looking at Moffat and all those guys. But now I'm looking at the latest stuff at Le Mans. So yeah, it's a sickness I've got.
Le Mans is the last true class of car where you can actually freely develop a car.
Yeah.
Without having to conform with regs that limit.
There's plenty of rules and regulations, but it's the last true class of car where it's not regulated to a single
formula.
A single formula.
Yeah.
That's right. You've usually got 3 or 4 classes where you can run, and you can win your class.
Yeah. But
And
they allow
Prototypes.
Yeah, that's it. But that's the car companies are using that as to develop technology for their future cars. But you look at Bathurst and you're running you're running cars at first they're about a foot shorter than the real car.
Yeah.
Your Commodores and your so-called Mustangs, and next year, or not next year, the year after, it's going to be Camaros.
Are they running them this year?
They might be, but there'll be no Holden support from this year, 2021. And Camaros won't be coming in until 2022, I believe.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong. But,
how ironic though, Roland Dane used to complain of how he wanted the Mustangs changed because they didn't look like the road car. Now he's going to be running a car that actually doesn't exist at all.
Exactly. Look,
I bet you wasn't saying anything about that.
A mate of mine's got a Mustang, and the bonnet is straight.
But technically they do exist, they just don't
car.
make them anymore.
No, but they were actually racing the latest model car. That was the whole point of the VO supercars. Now they don't.
Yeah,
a mate of mine's got a Mustang. He's got a road-going Mustang, and my mate Mark Higgins, who's a motoring journalist, he has driven Mustangs all the time. He drove one around here a couple of months ago, and the bonnet is straight. And you look at the race car, and the bonnet's not straight. It's
sloped.
curved.
Yeah.
It's like to get the thing to fit on the chassis.
Yeah.
And there was I'll tell you, the whole thing was back in the 90s, the early 90s, the whole world of motorsport, they wanted to bring this silhouette formula where they ran the same chassis, etc., and you built a car around the chassis. And Australia said, no, go away, you're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Guess what? That's what we've got now.
Yeah.
And that was only 10 years later.
Exactly right. But if you look at the Commodores in the 80s, they were all Commodores. So were Dick Johnson's cars, they were all Falcons, and people reacted to it, and they related to the cars. Look at them now. When was the last time you saw a two-door Celica or Corolla run around Bathurst in a different class? No, it hasn't happened. So motor racing in Australia is actually, it's. I'm not going to swear, but it's stuffed. It really is stuffed.
Oh, bloody VO supercars management team and damage control, I'm pretty sure.
And I like the concept of the TCRs coming out here, but then again, they're all... And British touring cars are the same thing. They got destroyed by putting the big wings on the back and all this sort of crap. But you look at the touring cars, the British touring cars in the 90s, and you look at the Mondeos and all that sort of stuff, etc. They had no downforce.
Oh, they did, but they still were reflective of a road car.
No, the downforce stopped in 2020. 2000 when the Mondeos won. Prior to that, they had no downforce whatsoever on their cars.
The Audis had massive rear wing and side skirts. Back when Brad Jones and Paul Morris were racing their BMWs and their Audis, they had downforce then.
Yeah, they did. Exactly. No, you're right, because I was there in 95 and watched the Audis win at Snetterton, etc. But after 2020, it went crazy, and they started putting these big side skirts on and massive wings on the back, etc. And it just destroyed the sport. It has. It's destroyed the sport. And my interest in touring cars now is nil.
Yeah, it's certainly.
Anyway.
It's certainly gone to that point where you understand the goal of what they're trying to do, which is to achieve even racing. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the racing closer because they believe that's what fans want to see.
Well, that's what people want to see. Yeah.
I think that for most people, Formula One being the exception, I think what most people want to see is they want to see the car that they might buy or consider buying. I think they want to see how would that go. How does it go in a race in comparison to other cars?
Well, in
Not necessarily
V8 supercars. Sorry,
Well,
mate,
V8 supercars is only 2 models, so that's hardly a formula for people being able to gauge. Oh, how does my Mercedes go against a Commodore? I don't know because I can't see it.
And that's why Betty Klemenko was such an amazing woman who came in with the Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, the E-Class.
The E-Class, and she's a lovely woman. She's absolutely fantastic, and okay, she's got some money behind her through her
Family.
Connections with Westfield, etc. But she has come in, she's a breath of fresh air. But even she's gone, well, hang on a second. CAMS did not allow Mercedes the same freedoms as they did for Holden and Ford.
Yeah. So Volvo were restricted.
Well, look at Gary Rogers.
Nissan was restricted.
Yeah, but Gary Rogers came out, and his S40s were quick, but they got screwed over, and same with the Nissans, they got screwed over. But then again, the Nissans were maintained by a bunch of idiots. They had no idea what they were fucking doing, these guys. But anyway. And that's why the motorsport in Australia is ruined. Anyway, I think we've gone away from the topic of paint jobs, so I'm sorry. So we get back to paint job issues.
That's all right. I'm still battling. I'm still battling away with my line marking. I'm probably about 5% away being finished now. Just the last little bits of tricky negotiation.
A few paint jobs that people are looking at. Oh, there we go.
Back in a sec, guys. Got to make a cup of coffees.
Right, I'll have white with 2, thanks, mate.
No, I'll have a 78 Spin Effects Shiraz, please.
Oh no, I haven't had coffee beans since 1978. Sorry, mate.
Oh, mate, what you fucking useless you are.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
Sam, I like your Corvette, mate.
All right.
So your Camaro, I like your Camaro, Sam. A lot of work on that. That's nice.
Sam's still with us?
I think he is.
Oh, sorry, mate. I had my mic put up.
He's on.
I'm just saying, I like your Camaro. There's a lot of work on that, mate.
You ever seen Spyro the Dragon? Have you?
No, I haven't, but I don't need to see Spyro the Dragon because I can see how much work you put into the paint job. And first thing, I love the wheels, and I love how the red brake calipers going through. But what gets me, and I saw you doing the earlier stuff today on the bonnet. You built all that stuff on the bonnet and the roof, mate. That's sensational. Love it.
Yeah. If you ever have a look at Spyro the Dragon on Google or whatever, see some images, that's what I'm trying to replicate. Old school game on PS1, Spyro the Dragon.
A PS1, okay.
yeah.
Mate, I like it. I really do. That's good. That's good work, mate. That's great work.
Yeah, Sam was educating me on Spyro because I had no idea who Spyro was.
No, and I don't know who Spyro is, and quite frankly, I don't want to know who Spyro is. Because it's PS1, and I'll tell you what, yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
God, I hate it when I get to this point and I'm so close, but there's just so many little finicky bits.
Yeah, but you...
Sean won't like this livery though. It's got one of those mouths up on the front wheel.
Oh, you haven't, have you?
I don't think you're. I don't think your people that you're watching this will like what I'm bringing out. So do I post a photograph or what?
Yeah, you just post it as if you normally would.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get so many hate. I'm gonna get so many hate things. I'll tell you on this. People will hate me for what I've done. Oh, there's two I've got to do too that piss people off. Oh, this makes me laugh.
Oh boy. Okay. Now I'm going for a decal count. I'm starting to worry. I haven't looked, and I'm starting to worry.
Yeah, I'm getting close to where I am too.
I suppose you still want to chuck a few little things on top of that once you finish, won't you?
Well, I wanted to do, remember I wanted to do livery creator names. So now I'm probably going to have to do them on the bonnet or on the wing, because I'm worried that I will run out of decals on the body. So close and yet so far, as they say. I'm up to 216, and I'm not there yet. So it's going to come right down to the wire. The sad thing is I cannot come up with a quick way of doing this, or a quick or an economical way of doing this last bit.
If people are watching this on YouTube, they're going to kill me.
Why? What are you sending? What are you posting?
You'll see.
To bring it up on your screen, you have to be showing it on your live stream, won't you?
Yeah. And I really want to just concentrate on getting this finished at the moment.
They're going to hate what I've done. Yeah, and also well, it's the replica of the Winfield and also the Jaguar, the one Bathurst. It's sacrilege, apparently.
It looks good, that.
Yeah, I know it looks good, but guess what? I don't give a shit what people think. Yeah. You don't like it, don't drive it.
That's right.
But Sam, I want to say your stuff, your liveries have just gone from, you know, B to A plus.
Yeah.
I'm serious, mate. Your paint jobs are amazing.
And at this point, I'd like to take all the credit for that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but hang on.
Stu and John can take the credit for that, mate, because you know he's the fellas that I call when I get into a bit of trouble.
But you're right, Sean. You know, when I started doing paint jobs, I was doing basic shit, and then when I linked up, and I've been racing with John for a long time, but I didn't have the knowledge of how to do a paint job. But it's when we all got together and then we shared ideas, I've gone to the next level. I've gone to the next level, yeah. And when Sam came on, and Sam, you and I have been, what, 6 months? 6 months together, I suppose?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah, about that. And I've just seen the level of paint jobs changing so much in the last 6 months. And that comes down to Sean and John, and then Sam and I, you know, trying to not catch up, but sort of emulate what you guys have done. So it's exciting, it really is. But I don't have the time to do the amount of work that you guys do. Particularly when I have to go back to work on Monday on the 11th. So I can only spend so much time doing this. So, anyway, guys, I have to leave you because Nick will be home soon and she expects me to have done dinner, cleaned the shower and vacuumed. Well, I've done the vacuuming, so I'll be back shortly.
Well, if you're interested, JD Brooks is running a touring car masters event today.
Yeah, what cars are you running?
Pre-80s. Pre-80s, I think you said. Yeah, pre-80s.
I don't have decent tunes on my pre-80s cars.
That's all right.
So
you can bring out whatever you want.
Yeah,
it's not about the livery. It's about the racing. My tunes on my early cars are not good. So anyway, guys, I'll speak to you a bit later. Okay, take it easy, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for dropping in.
No worries. See you soon. See you, buddies.
See you, mate.
Catch you later, mate.
See ya.
What I hate is when I do a duplicate on reverse, the decal itself behaves in reverse too. So when you think you're widening it, you're narrowing it. When you think you're lengthening it, you're shortening it.
Yeah.
And you're trying to fit it into a very specific area.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I know what you mean. Just makes it that much harder, doesn't it?
Sure does. Anyway, I've done that. I reckon I've probably got 30 to go. I think. If I can get away with only 30, I'll be happy.
Have you checked to see how much you got left to fit?
I've got about 70 left, I think. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
I don't know how much of the progress you caught of the Camaro that I'm doing.
I haven't looked at any of the pictures for the last 15-20 minutes because I've just been trying to get this finished.
Yeah,
because the people watching, I want them to see the unveiling, if you like, of the area. When I remove the That worked perfectly for that one, but ain't gonna work perfectly for that one, is it? It's going to be obscuring all of that. Well, there you go. Practice on until 3 o'clock. JD Brooks just announced. So that's another reason to get my skates on.
And there you would see the eye of God.
What's the time over there now?
It is 3:22 my time, but he's saying 3 o'clock his time, not our time.
I'm back.
JD Brooks just put an announcement up that practice room is open.
Yeah, I saw that. Thinking about joining in.
Yeah, I want to get this part of this livery done before I do that, because I want to take it off and see what that looks like.
I'm guessing Nikki came home.
No, but she will be home shortly. So he had to go and do his chores.
So did you like that Spyro recreation there, John?
Yeah, I did. It was cool.
A lot of work to do on it. Still heaps to do.
And there you would see the eye of God.
You in his room yet, John?
Yeah.
How many people are in there?
7 including me.
Okay, not bad.
I'm starting to hit that wall on this livery at the moment, so I think I might save it where it's at and come back to it later.
Makes sense. I'm so close I don't want to stop.
Yeah. Now, John,
Hmm?
do you reckon you'd be able to do a decal for me?
What sort of decal?
Just the Spyro logo.
I can certainly have a go at it. It depends how detailed the logo's going to be, that's all.
It is a wee bit detailed. Yeah.
I'm more than happy to have a go at it. Let me Google it now. Oh, the actual texting of it.
Yeah, just the writing of the Spyro, yeah.
Okay.
Bit of shading and 3Ding and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a go at it, but
Yep.
No
I think what you'll
promises.
find. Well, I think what you'll find is that I can get it, but it won't have shading or anything like that. It'll be very blocky in terms of colouring.
Right.
But I'll have a crack and see what happens. I'll look at it later on.
How would I go about sending a screenshot to you?
Of
Here we go. Just of the logo that I prefer. But just the Spyro part, I sent it to you now. Don't need the Ignited Trilogy.
that one, okay. Alright, I'll have a look and see what I come up with.
Yeah. Yep, just in your own time, man.
Yeah.
Right, gonna join in JD Book's room.
I hope I'm there in about 15-20 minutes.
You said that 20 minutes ago.
I know. That was when everything looked easier than what it is at the moment.
Yeah, what it turned out to be.
I'm not far off. I am kind of being a bit lazy at the moment in terms of just wanting to get it finished.
Pre-1980s cars only, and some clown is in a Civic Type R and a GTR Group 4.
Yeah. Respecting host and his ideas is optional, it appears, in the game these days.
Oh, mate. Intelligence is not required.
What was it, 1980s?
Or older,
So up until 1979, effectively. So, and there is a power and weight limit. So up to 500 horsepower, minimum 1200 kilo.
Right.
It's basically set up so we can run the Daytona effectively.
I don't have a Daytona.
Oh well.
You got a GT40 Mark 1? Run that.
GT40.
Probably be quicker.
That's going to be the dominant car. But I'm not running it.
Five 12 BB looks good to me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't like the body roll of this car. Probably because it was the last livery I done, so.
Going up.
Oh boy.
You still streaming there, Sean?
I am. Not exactly riveting viewing, but I'm just trying to finish off this. Finish this off so that whoever is watching.
You're a very patient person.
Yeah, I think the word is actually stubborn.
No, the person's still watching.
Yeah.
They're patient.
Ah, yes, yeah, they're martyrs. They're still watching. I'm so close to having this done. I'm just going to do some edges around there. How many have I got to go? I've got 53 left. 53 decals on the body left. Do I need 53 decals to finish it? That's the question. How's this eye looking? It's going to be bloody close. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Getting there, Sean.
I'm close. Very close. It's really just doing the tidying now. Alright, I'm pretty sure. Two more decals and this side's done.
damages on permanent.
Well, I'm going to make it. There's some to spare, but... Just ticked over the 3-hour mark on the broadcast.
Shit, is it really?
Yeah. But I'm literally maybe 3 minutes away from being done. I reckon I'm probably going to have about 10 decals to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly because for the last 25 minutes I've been pretty rough trying to get it done. Okay.
Oh, fuck off.
Righto. Oh no, wait. Almost thought I was done, but no. Two to go, or maybe more. Damn, thought I was finished.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Oh, he's not talking to you, you pissed him off.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, so
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go, he's even more pissed off, he's on mute.
I can't get a full lap without damaging the car, eh?
Is that Bathurst? Is that where you're racing?
Yeah.
Yep, that's east. It's just up over the top there. You get those little, what's it, the dipper and there.
Over the crest where the car gets really floaty.
It floats and darts off as soon as you try to correct it. Oh, mate, she's a nightmare trying to drive this.
What car are you in, Thrimpy?
In the 512 BB.
Mmm.
Hold up, guys, I want to go grab a feed. I'll be back.
Yeah, no
Alright.
stress.
Okay, that side is done. And this side should be able to do 2 more decals and then I'm done. gonna get it. Now for the moment of truth. Okay, looks alright. Ooh, okay. Spot an error. 2 errors. Fix that. What I'm hoping is it's the same decal.
An hour to race start.
An hour? Righto. I'm done. Well, this part of the livery anyway. Amazing. Bingo. So you can see that there's still errors. As careful as I was, still some errors, folks. So, but that's the way it happens. Now what I've got to do is track down each of those decals and adjust them. Wasn't it? Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed today's session with all of our guests. And hopefully when you see this again, the livery will look totally tidied up, and I'll then move on to doing the bonnet and the roof and the rear of the car, and then we should be close to having a finished livery. Alright, take care everyone, stay COVID safe, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.